go, ladies and gentlemen. He is back. He was a blockbuster hit on KRSchannel, so we're bringing the sequel because a blockbuster hit movie needs a sequel. So please help me welcome Shri Sanjay Rath ji. Welcome. You are in a huge hit.
Thank you, Kapiel. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome.
It's you who made me a hit.
So today you are going to cover one of my favorite subjects, Nakshatras, as you promised.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
In fact, what we were talking initially was I wanted to go into the concept of nakshatras before I get into anything else, you know.
Yeah.
And the concept of nakshatras are very important. And unless we understand these nakshatras and have a clear idea about what we are talking, getting into the nitty-gritty of individual nakshatras would be pointless, because we need to get the broad picture first before we go into the more detailed picture.
Okay.
So, for example, often people ask me is what exactly are nakshatras? When you look up at the skies, there are thousands and thousands of stars out there. So what exactly is a nakshatra? And why do these nakshatras, why are they exactly of equal sizes? Right, that's a very important question.
Yeah.
And for example, if you take the lunar motion around the Earth, it is about 27 days and about 7 hours, roughly 7 3/4.
Yeah.
So there are two ways we can round off this number. We can round it off to the lower portion of 27, or we can round it off to the upper portion of 28. So basically, there are two types of nakshatras. One which is the 27 nakshatra belt, and one that is the 28 nakshatra belt. Now, if I take a zodiac of 360 and divide it into 27 parts, I'm getting each of 13 degrees 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what am I assuming out here? I am assuming that the motion is uniform, that the motion of the moon around the zodiac is uniform, and that it is passing through each of these mansions called nakshatras, lunar mansions. You know, that's why we call them lunar mansions.
Yeah.
Of 13 degrees 20 minutes in approximately 1 day. Approximately, but actually it takes slightly less time. I mean, slightly more time to pass, and that's why we have slightly more. So that's the reason why we are cutting it into equal portions. But in the Vedic thing, they realize that actually the motion of the moon is not uniform. It accelerates and decelerates and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go into Vedic nakshatras, which is a far more intricate system of nakshatras, the length of each nakshatra is actually different. Now, this is something nobody talks about, because very few people even know that such a thing exists, you know. That, for example, you take the first nakshatra, which we all know as Ashwini. We know that it's from 0 degrees Aries to 13 degrees 20 minutes of Aries.
Yeah.
But according to Brahma, the creator, this is not true, because actually the speed of the moon is different. So he has assigned different lengths for each nakshatra, but that is called the creation nakshatras.
That's why they say how moon slows down on Rohini and picks up again. That's why it's his favorite nakshatra.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. That's why he says that's his favorite nakshatra. Because he slows down over there.
Yeah.
He hangs out of them more. That means that's his favorite. He's being biased. And who is the deity of that nakshatra? It's Brahma, Prajapati.
Yeah.
That's why Brahma says, hey, there's different times assigned for different nakshatras. And so that is the Vedic nakshatra system. But the Vedic, or what we call the Srishti, the creation nakshatras, are different from the sustenance. In the sustenance, they are all of equal sizes of 13 degrees 20 minutes each. And each of them has got 4 legs, like an animal, like a 4-legged animal. So each nakshatra is like a cow. You think of a nakshatra like a cow.
I wanted to always ask you this, and I've never been able to really find the true answer for it. We know that a nakshatra has 4 padhas, and those padhas will land a planet in certain sign in Navamsha. But is there an actual meaning of a planet being in the first padha versus second padha versus third padha? Can you just say, oh, you have sun in third padha? Okay, this is supposed to happen. Is there something like that, where a padha itself has some meaning of why it's in third padha?
See, these padas are not just about tattva. See, the first pada, as we know, is Agni, because it will always map to a Agni Navamsha. The second pada is Prithvi, it will always map to a Prithvi. Third is Vayu, and the fourth is Jala. And based upon this, 4 padas, we are getting Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And these 4 padas are like the 4 legs of the bull, because the moon at the end of the day is representing the bull.
Yeah.
Right. So the bull is going to visit each of these cows one by one. So Ashwini Nakshatra is a cow. The moon, which is a bull, is going to go visit them.
That's right.
And the first pada, second pada, third pada, and fourth pada are the 4 legs of the bull, the 4 legs of the cow. And these are the 4 legs of Dharma, actually, if you see. During Satya Yuga, all the 4 legs are very strong. During Dwapara Yuga, 3 are strong. Treta, 2 are strong. And in Kali Yuga, only 1 is strong. What does that mean? That means that, hey, during Kali Yuga, not only are we required to see your nakshatra, but we also have to see the nakshatra pada, because only that nakshatra pada is strong. The rest of them are going to be weak.
Okay. So if moon is in Rohini Nakshatra in the first pada of Agni, that means the dharma of that nakshatra is much strong.
Exactly. That means this person is focused on dharma. That's the only thing which has got strength in it. If it is in the second pada, then the artha pada is strong. The others are weak. Earlier, the moon had, in Satya Yuga, the moon had so much strength that when he was in Rohini, all the 4 padas would be strong. So therefore, that is the importance of understanding the pada in the nakshatra. Further, we realize that, look, every nakshatra which has a pada is basically going to map to a certain kind of destiny. For example, if my moon is in, let us say, Agni Nakshatra, that means, Agni Pada, that means the Agni Rashis are strong in my chart. They are having the Dharma, or that leg of Dharma is strong. So planets which are placed in Agni Rashis are going to be enjoying a lot of moonlight.
Okay. I see.
It's a very, because your mind has only got the capacity to focus on one thing. Yeah. It does not have the capacity to focus on all the 4 things. That's why only one thing is going to be strong. And that one thing is, let's say, fire. Let's say in my chart, I find the moon to be in the 4th pada of Satavishaj. 4th pada, as we know, is the Moksha pada, which has to do with the Jala Rashis. So all the planets in the Jala Rashis, my mind is going to dwell on them. So naturally, they are going to be strong. The remaining planets will not be as strong. That is the point of having the moon's pada.
Wow. Okay. So like even a mine is in the moksha pada. So that means, is this why my mind is always wanting to just know what is beyond this plane? Why is this why I dwell? Why am I here? What is this place?
You are searching. You and I are searchers. We are searching. Look at the moksha pada. You have the 4th house, 8th house, and the 12th house. It is all about life after death, 12th house. It's all about transformations, 8th house. Why am I born? Why am I passing through the transformation? And the 4th house, about home, about relationships. What are these karmas that associate with the relationships? That is more important. That is why we connect.
But then at the same time, we would have desire, oh, I want to eat this today. I want to buy myself a nice shirt, and I want to buy myself a nice car. How does that also play out? Because we have so many different, sometimes we have our kama desires, sometimes we have our artha desires. I want to get a good career. So how is that playing out at the same time? With
the thing is, we are not as good in that as we are in this. Okay. The mind, ultimately, is the mind that matters.
Yeah.
The mind tends to focus more on the moksha area. So if let's say, Kapil, you were to go to buy a shirt, then I will at least need one planet in let us say, Agni Pada for you to care for yourself.
Okay.
The planets which are in Agni Padas, you will end up caring for yourself. Planets which are in Prithvi Padas will make you care more for your work and money. Planets in Vayu Padas will deal with your travel and your relationships and things like that.
And
So
in that case, I actually have all four happening: first, second, third, fourth. So
yes,
they all
yes.
help me in a certain areas of my life.
Exactly. So every planet like that will be in a certain pada, and that planet will be only able to focus better on the pada in which it is placed.
Okay.
Whereas it'll be an unfit in the other padas. A Venus which is placed in a Vayu pada will be superb in relationships.
And that's
Whereas
something I have.
yeah, yeah. So that's why you are superb. You are smiling all the time. You are so good to interact with people. People look at you. Just started your channel. Is how old is your channel?
It's been now 8 years, since 7 years.
And I think you are number one. You are number one. And you are that is your Venus in Vayu. You see, you are able to interact because end of the day, if planets are not in Vayu pada, you can't go out there.
Yeah, that is very true.
And then we find the Venus is your 10th lord. Is it? What's your lagna? Lots of friends.
Yeah.
People are, you are friendly, you are interacting, and that's how you see, you can easily see how it is growing.
Yeah.
And beauty is because Venus is the lord of Badha. Therefore, it will go global.
Yeah. Yeah, it lands itself in Libra in Navamsha with Mercury.
Oh, that is awesome. You see? It's
and directly opposite is Sun and Mars in Aries. So
there you go. Awesome. Normally, I found Mars-Venus opposition in the Navamsha to be good for astrologers.
Wow.
Very interesting. Very interesting. It is something to do with the Gandanta point of fire and water. Mars rules the fire and Venus rules the water.
Yeah, my Mars is in Gandanta between Leo and Cancer. It's at literally less than 1 degree in Magha Nakshatra.
Oh, that's exactly like Sabani.
Jupiter lands itself in Cancer and Saturn is in Capricorn, as we saw discussed in New York for Navamsha.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Good karmas. Very good karmas. So we come back to the nakshatras, and there we see that look, these nakshatras that were formed. Now the question is, since we have 27 nakshatras, where does the counting start from?
Yeah.
Right. Now, there were 7 planets, like the Saptarishi, who were sitting around Parvati, who is the moon. And normally, the reckoning always starts from the sun. Okay. But the moon said, no, I am the lord of the nakshatras. And therefore, the reckoning will start from where the moon gets exalted.
Okay.
And the moon gets exalted in the 2nd degree of Taurus. Which is in Kritika Nakshatra. That is the reason why nakshatra counting is always done from Kritika.
Kritika, yes.
It's a very basic thing. Why from there? For example,
why are we also starting from Ashwini? Is it because of the zodiac mentality?
No, we will come to that. We will see the dominance of the sun.
Okay.
The sun is the boss of the system, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, when it comes to talking about nakshatras, the reckoning always starts from Kritika, right? But the sun says, hey, I am the boss of the whole zodiac. So therefore, where does the zodiac reckoning start from? From where the sun gets exalted.
Oh, okay.
The sun is exalted at 10 degrees of Aries. Which is Aries. That is the reason why among the Rashis, Aries or Mesha is the first Rashi.
Yeah.
And Ashwini is the first nakshatra of the Kala Purusha.
Okay.
That is why. The question is, why am I starting from Ashwini? Because that is the exaltation of the sun. So the sun arrogates to himself that look, all nakshatra counting will start from Ashwini as far as Manushya Jataka is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So and human beings will be made on the basis of Aries. Aries will be the head, Taurus will be the face, and so on. Similarly, we have something called a Nakshatra Purusha. And then again, we start counting from Ashwini to understand the Nakshatra scheme. Whereas from Kritika, since the moon is from Kritika, therefore all dasha allocations like Vimshotri dasha and all will be from Kritika. You see the shlokas, they always start with Kritika as the first nakshatra, and since the sun is the king, it shall be allocated to the sun as a dasha. That is how we have two different reckonings of nakshatra, one from Ashwini and one from Kritika. But there is one which is called the night system. And the night system says, hey, I don't agree with the both of you. I am different. And I will start from Ardhra. So technically we have three different nakshatra schemes. One that starts from Kritika, one that starts from Ashwini, and one that starts from Ardhra. It is called Ardhradi. That means from Ardhra and others. Kritika, Kritikadi, from Kritika and others. Ashwinadi, Ashwini and others. So we have three nakshatra schemes, not one.
Why? So who controls that Aradhra scheme? Because we know sun says I'm exalted here, moon says I'm exalted here. So what is the...
There must be another planet that gets exalted. Yeah, you see. So when people asked me, hey, who gets exalted there? I said, I guess the only one left is Rahu, isn't it? Right. Who is the one who's going to disobey the sun and the moon?
Rahu.
It's only Rahu.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So therefore, we have a creation that is happening from Ashwini. We have a sustenance which is happening from Kritika. And we have a destruction which is happening from Ardhra. Wow. So that is why we have Srishti from Ashwini, Sthiti or the sustenance from Kritika, and Samhara or the destruction from Ardhra. So let us say we are using Vimshotri Dasha. What are we going to do with Vimshotri Dasha? We are going to use it to see how the native or any being is being sustained in the planet.
Yeah.
Since it is for sustenance, that is why Vimshotri Dasha reckoning must be from Kritika. You see, the foundation...
But I thought Vimshotri is based on the position of the moon at our birth, and it takes the moon into account to start.
Exactly. But then when we say the moon is in a certain nakshatra, where are we counting the nakshatras from? Because the order is Navatara system, right?
Yeah.
And the Navatara order is Surya, Chandra, Mangal, Rahu, Brihaspati, Shani, Buddha, Ketu, Shukra. So the starting point is Surya.
Surya, okay.
So the starting point is Kritika.
Yeah.
And then 3 times 9, we go around the zodiac. And then we see where exactly the moon is. And from there we get the Vimshotri Dasha. Get the idea?
Yeah.
So the system that is being used is the Kritikadi system.
Okay.
Although the creation is from Ashwini, the sustenance is happening from Kritika. So the dashas are all running from Kritika.
From Kritika, yeah. Now, is there a dasha that also will give some importance to that Aradhrari?
That may, of course, if I have a dasha system only to find out death, how is death coming towards? It's a reverse, it's retrograde. Death is already there and he's walking towards you.
Yeah.
The point when you and death will cross the path, the person dies.
Oh, that is so, yeah, that makes sense because you come close and that's where that happens, yes.
So the death time is actually retrograding from, let us say some point, let us say 144 years. From 144 years, he's retrograding. And here you are going forward. It's very interesting, you know. So there must be a whole system of dashas which is associated with death only.
Yeah.
Okay. We will leave that for now because right now we just need to understand the foundations of the nakshatras, right?
Right.
So you got this 3 types of nakshatras very clearly, right? Good. 3 nakshatra schemes. And then what we have something called Savya, Apasavya nakshatra. That means some nakshatras are going forward and some nakshatras are retrograding. This is based upon the 3 steps of Vishnu. Because Vishnu takes 3 steps forward and 3 steps backward. Then 3 steps forward and 3 steps backward. And he does this with the Rashis and he does this with the Nakshatras. Now, this is a very advanced concept. For example, you will see Aries, Taurus, and Gemini are walking forward, whereas Cancer, Leo, and Virgo are walking backwards. So they are called Savya Rashi, walking forward. Apasavya Rashi, walking backwards. Similarly, nakshatras from Ashwini you can count. Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika are walking forward, or Savya Nakshatra. Then after that, Rohini, Mrigashira, and Ardra are walking backward, Apasavya. Like that, every three nakshatras are walking forward or walking backward.
And what is the significance of that walking backwards versus forward? So if a planet is in a walking backward nakshatra, will it behave in a unconventional way, or how will that scheme play out?
See, forward and backward nakshatras we use in multiple ways, because you see, we have a lot of a nakshatra, and sometimes, you know, we count from one nakshatra to another nakshatra, how far away it is from its nakshatra. Just as we have signs and planets from signs. Let us say you have Mars. You have Mars in Leo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So from Aries, Mars is in the 5th sign because I'm counting forward. But from Scorpio, I'm again counting forward. You see that? Because both the signs of Mars are forward counting signs.
Forward counting signs, yes.
Now let us say I were to talk about the nakshatra Mrigashira. From Mrigashira, how far is Mars? For Mrigashira, I will not count forward. I will have to count in the reverse.
Okay. So it's 11th from itself, then you can say. Or
exactly. Yeah. From Mrigashira. Mrigashira is looking at Mars as if he's in the 11th house from him.
Okay, because my moon is there. So that's fine.
How interesting.
Yeah.
How interesting, right? So you observe that from Mrigashira, he's looking at Mangal as 11th house. So he's friendly to Mangal. He's happy with the position of Mangal. But I have to count the exact number of nakshatras and see exactly what that means. Okay, these are advanced concepts. But there are something simple, much more simpler concepts, like Navtara. Okay, everybody talks about Navtara. Think about Navtara like this. Every human being is passing through 9 stages of life. Ketu, who rules Ashwini Nakshatra, is indicating the stage of a headless. Ketu is headless, no?
Yeah.
Who is headless? Who is headless? A baby or a child is headless. Have you seen little 2-year-olds running around the house?
Yeah.
Right. That's complete Ketu situation.
Yeah.
You can't get angry with them because, you know, hey, that's a kid out there. I mean, come on. He doesn't understand. Everybody knows that the kid doesn't understand because he's headless. After that, he grows up. Venus. What is Venus? The hormones are jumping around. The teenager is fighting, angry. He doesn't know why he's angry.
Yeah.
So the second nakshatra is the second stage of your life. Then the sun. Hey, I got to work. I got to be time. There's got to be discipline.
Yeah.
I got to take responsibility. I got to settle down in my career. So the third nakshatra, what does the third nakshatra do? Ruled by the sun. And the sun is the one who takes everybody to work. Everyone. Then the moon. My family. My family. That means I must marry. I must settle down. Yeah. I must have kids. All that. The fourth nakshatra. Then the fifth nakshatra. Mars. Power, position, authority. You've been working for such a long time. Now you got a wife and she'd like to know where the hell you stand in your career. Yeah. Till then you were just happy. Like, okay, I got a job. My boss told me I got to do everything, right? But suddenly now you need your power position, your authority, your this thing. So that's the fifth nakshatra. Then Rahu, the nakshatra of doubts, the sixth nakshatra. You go through your period of doubts. That what the hell, what power, what is the meaning of this power, what did I achieve, what did I, it's all about reflecting, thinking. And then realizing that maybe this whole thing is a dream. This may be all false. What am I doing wasting my time in this? I should be doing something better for myself. All those questions come up. Then the 7th nakshatra, Jupiter. I need to have a spiritual path. I may die now. And then the 8th nakshatra, Saturn. Disease, old age. Then the last nakshatra, Mercury. You become like a child. When you really become old, you are like a child.
Yeah, you can't do anything that you were doing as a...
Anything. You are dependent completely.
Yep.
Like a child.
Wow. That is okay. Amazing.
So keeping that order in your head, from wherever the, you see, wherever the moon is, from the moon, we make Navtaras. And no matter what dasha you are running, what you need to count is which dasha. Are you in the first dasha, second dasha, third dasha, fourth dasha? Because the first dasha for everybody, you and me, is like a Ketu dasha.
Regardless of what planet it is.
Irrespective of what planet.
Okay.
See, there are two things in a dasha. One is the planet that is running the dasha, and two, the governor of the dasha. So let us say your moon is in Mrigashira, your Janma Tara, right?
Yeah.
So naturally your first dasha is going to be that of the moon. Sorry, that of Mars.
Mars, yeah.
But Mars is the like a lord, is the lord of the dasha. But who is the Karaka for that dasha?
Ketu.
Exactly, you got it.
Okay. And then how do we relate? Oh, because the first dasha would be like a headless dasha, just like you're just running around.
Exactly. So I have to study the relationship between Ketu and Mars in your chart to figure out what exactly happened in your childhood. Just from Mars, I can't make out. Mars alone may not be sufficient. Then we go to your second dasha. That means, hey, how long did it take him to mature? Did he mature quickly? So people who are born in the fourth pada mature very quickly, because there's not much of the first dasha left.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So fourth padha is that padha will always be the padha of maturity. Like you're starting from a very mature stage of existence.
You got the point. You got the point. Your starting itself is that, you see, you are not being given much time for being headless.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody who is born in, let us say, Pushya Nakshatra, beginning, right at the beginning, 19 years of headlessness. That whole Saturn dasha is like Ketu.
Just being lost and wandering and...
Yeah, like a, so he's really not growing up. Late starters, late bloomers. You get the idea?
Yeah.
Whereas you look at somebody, it's the mind. The mind is maturing late. Whereas your second dasha will be that of Rahu. But the governor or the controller of that dasha is Venus. Your third dasha is that of Jupiter. But the governor of that is the sun.
So you will always have to look at the position of the Lord and the Karaka to make...
The Karaka is very important. If the Karaka is negative, even if the Lord is exalted, you won't get super results. Because Karaka is the hand of God, it's the hand of nature.
Wow. And then is this why they also have the 9-9 scheme, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh? The first
exactly.
9 are Brahma.
Exactly. Totally, totally. Navtaras are very, very advanced concept in nakshatras. It is not as simple as people talk about. Like this is one of the ways to understand Navtaras. The Karaka system of understanding Navtaras. Another way of understanding Navtaras is where you have a Lagna in a nakshatra. From your Lagna nakshatra, where is the moon? From the Lagna nakshatra, I can have Navtaras. If the Navtaras, look at your Lagna is Cancer. Right. So from Cancer, if I start counting the Navtaras, I can say that it is not in the first group. It is not in the second group. It is in the third group. You agree? Your moon is in the third Navtara group counted from Lagna. I did it very fast. Without even knowing your ascendant, nakshatra I did it,
Yeah.
right? Now see the catch in here. From Lagna till the 4th house is childhood, they say.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, it is what we call Vartaman, right now. People who have the moon from Lagna to the 4th house will be very conscious of now. Their mind is always dwelling in now.
Yeah.
From the 5th house to the 8th house, moon, it will always be future. They're always thinking of the future. From the 9th house to the 12th house, roughly, I'm not taking nakshatras, okay? Roughly, you will see it will be about past, studying history, studying astrology, studying cosmology, going into depths of time, life before birth and after death. Those things. So basically, you can clearly see that that is the Navtara. What is Navtara? Navtara is nothing but 4 signs. You can clearly see that these people like to dwell in the past, like to think about the past, like to ponder about the past, and deep past, history, anthropology, Jyotish, all those things. That's how the mind is.
And it's only for the moon you're looking for, regardless of irrespective of the ascendant. It could be a Sagittarius ascendant, but moon in the 11th house will be that 3rd stage.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then we go into individual nakshatras, and then we get more details. So like that, there are multiple kinds of things that we have learned about the nakshatra schemes. Then we have various chakras like the Surya Kalanala Chakra, Chandra Kalanala Chakra, Mangala Kalanala Chakra. There are different Kalanala Chakras for each nakshatra to understand to what extent that planet is giving good results or bad results. Because end of the day, there is one dictum which says that if the moon doesn't agree with a Raj Yoga, that Raj Yoga cannot manifest.
Yes, yes, very true.
If the moon is giving Raj Yoga, then even all the negative yogas will get destroyed. So both ways, it is the moon that gets to decide. He is the deciding. It's like the mind. The mind gets to decide. So therefore, even if a planet is giving Raj Yoga, we need to do certain calculations to find out whether this planet is actually being favored or not. If it is not being favored by the moon, by the mind, then it's not going to function. So you can see nakshatras, nakshatra Jyotish is a very, very deep Jyotish.
Yes.
After studying and finishing the Rashi, you go back to nakshatras to understand what will work and what will not work. Okay, so that is sort of creating a kind of a good, I just wanted to give you a deep idea about the basics of the nakshatras, plus how deep is this. But Navtara is just one scheme. There are other schemes. For example, everybody says that the 22nd nakshatra is Vainashika nakshatra.
Mm-hmm.
It destroys you.
Yeah.
And how do we use it? For example, the 22 nakshatra will exactly map to the 10th house. It is roughly the middle nakshatra in the 10th house. Why should the planet in the 10th house, in the 22nd nakshatra, be a destroyer? So therefore, the question that I ask is it a destroyer or is it one who prevents destruction?
True.
Because that nakshatra can destroy. The planet over there can prevent the destruction, so he can protect you.
Okay, so the nakshatra says I'm here to destroy, but a planet can actually step on it and say, no, you're not going to destroy.
Exactly. And so you see, they say some of the highest mantras for protection are 22 syllable mantras.
And are you saying 22nd nakshatra from the scheme of Ashwini or wherever the moon is placed? So you count 22 from the moon?
22 from the moon.
From the moon, okay.
Yeah, Vainashika nakshatra. Because that nakshatra is supposed to destroy you. And when does it destroy you? When you have finished your karmas. That is why the 10th house has to do with karmas.
Yes. Wow, that is okay.
You get the point?
Yeah.
So that is why 10th house is also an important house for longevity.
Yeah.
Just like Lagna is important for longevity, 10th house is important for longevity because that decides whether your karmas are done or not. If it is done, then what are you doing out here?
Yeah.
So the longevity component that is coming from the 10th house is basically from the 22nd nakshatra. And that is giving you the karma that you have to do in this planet. Similarly, you know, these are special nakshatras. There are many, many special nakshatras like this, and we need to study all the special nakshatras. And then we talked about Gandanta, your Mars being in Gandanta. I mean, it's a very interesting thing to know that for men and women, the Gandanta works completely differently.
Okay. That's...
For example, if I were to give you a rough idea, take Magha Nakshatra, since you are interested in Magha.
Yeah.
The first pada of Magha is Agni dosha. Second pada is Jala dosha. You see, the second pada is actually Prithvi.
Yeah.
But the dosha is Jala for men. The third pada is Prithvi dosha. And the fourth is Vayu dosha. So the doshas of the Gandanta nakshatras are different from the tattvas. In the first case, it was Agni, Agni. In the second pada, it is Prithvi, but the dosha is Jala. The third pada is Vayu, but the dosha is Prithvi. The fourth pada is Jala, and the dosha is Vayu.
Vayu, okay.
For example, if the moon, if let us say the moon were to be in the first pada, then we can say there is danger to father. That moon will destroy the father when his dasha will come. If it was in the second pada, it is not the father but the mother who is in danger. In the third pada, neither father nor mother, but your finances are in trouble. The fourth pada could be dangerous for siblings and other people. Whereas for a woman, it is very different. The first pada of Magha has Prithvi dosha, second has Agni dosha, third has Jala dosha, and the fourth has Vayu. You see, so the doshas of the nakshatra padas are very different from the padas themselves.
Okay.
For example, if I say Mars is in Gandanta in first pada, then it is not your father, but whoever Mangal will represent. Mangal is having the problem of Gandanta. Right? And particularly Mangal, maybe there could be a sudden change in his career, a sudden disruption in his career. Mars will suddenly wake up one day and say, to hell with that career you are doing, you jolly well get back into my job.
Yeah.
And then Mangal will say, okay, what job shall I give him? Then depending upon aspects and this and that, Mangal will say, okay, why not the highest job that I can give you? What is the highest job of Mangal? Vedanga. What Vedanga does Mangal do? He's Agni and that's Jyotish.
Because that is so true. I was laid off from a job back in 2010. And from that point, I'm like, that's it. I'm done with this. I don't want to do a 9-to-5 job. I want to do on my own, something different. And from that transition happened, and here I am.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. See, had the moon been there, it would have been absolutely different. It is more personal, more to do with the blood. That's why father, mother, who are father and mother, they are linked to you through your blood. That is why moon in Gandanta is considered more dangerous. Mars in Gandanta would hit what it can hit. It may like how can Mars hit something which is related to you through blood? It cannot hit your dad or your mom.
Yeah.
Good idea. Moon has to do with blood. That is why the moon being there is very sensitive. Good. So now basically we have talked about certain important points. What else should we talk about nakshatra?
One thing that I forgot to actually ask you is about, do we still use, and I know people still do that, do we still use Abhijit in some way? And what importance does the 28th nakshatra plays in our life? In what way?
Look, Very good question. As I said, there are two nakshatra schemes. One is the 27 nakshatra scheme and one is the 28 nakshatra scheme. Now, in the 27 nakshatra, what did we do? We did 3 navtaras, right? 9 stars, then 9 stars, and then 9 stars. So if I were to put 9 stars in one line, I get one side of a triangle. 9 stars, the other side. So basically, Navatara is dividing the whole zodiac into 3 parts.
Yeah.
And if I join these 3 points, I get a triangle. Okay?
Yeah.
And do you know what this triangle represents? It represents Bhur, Bhuva, Swa. So from the first Navtar, the first 9 stars are Bhuloka. So from your Lagna is in Pushya.
Mm-hmm.
So from Pushya, the first 9 stars will represent Bhuloka. The next 9 stars are Bhuvaloka. And the last 9 stars are Swargaloka. But these are the 3 manifested worlds. They are not the spiritual worlds. The spiritual worlds are Maharloka, Janarloka, Taparloka, and Satyaloka. Okay? So how do we represent these 4 spiritual worlds? So we then have to use the 28 nakshatra. When we use 28 nakshatras, we get 7 times 4. 7 into 4 is 28. So each side of a square. This square is called Jagannath or Chowk. In the Odissi dance, for example, somebody who knows and understands the Odissi dance, it's a very spiritual dance because it is based upon the Chowk, the square of Jagannath, in which each side of the square has 7 stars. 14 till nakshatra 14 will be Maharloka. Then from 15 onwards, like that, the next 7 stars will be Janarloka. The next 7 stars will be Taparloka. And the last 7 stars are Satyaloka. So basically, there is one zodiac map that you are seeing. Actually, there are 2 zodiacs, 2 lunar zodiacs superimposed on each other inside the zodiac.
So how do we, is there a way to determine like what loka we're coming from or going? Is that what this map is about? Like, okay, you're supposed to go to this loka.
The starting point for that is the Dreshkana. The starting point for that is the Dreshkana. So for that, I really need to know, whether moon is stronger or the sun is stronger. And once I know that, I need to know in which Dreshkana it is placed. And the Lord of that Dreshkana, that will give me an idea.
Wow.
Where is your moon? Your moon is in Mrigashira. First Dreshkana. Now, which Dreshkana system am I using? I can't use Parashara because Parashara Dreshkana has to do with brothers and sisters. I have to use the Jagannath Dreshkana or the Nadi Dreshkana. In the Nadi Dreshkana, the first Dreshkana of every Rashi will go to a movable sign. So the moon is in Libra. So from where you came, I'm assuming moon is stronger. So Venus will tell me from where you came. Now from there I will get an idea if whether you are from let us say you came from one of the higher spiritual worlds. I assume so. After all, why would you be so much interested in spirituality?
Yeah.
Remember the last interview I was looking at. So basically, we found out that from your Lagna, the first 7 nakshatras are finishing in nakshatra number 14. And so you are in the second. So if I assume that you have come from a spiritual plane, that is why you are a spiritual person. Then I will say that, oh, he's come from Janarloka. Interesting, right? And which planet is the governor of Janarloka? According to that, I will know that this planet must have a profound say in his life.
Okay.
How interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So like that, there are multiple ways.
This goes like really just deep, like a black hole.
Oh yeah, nakshatras are absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And the entire concepts of nakshatras is so deep. We were talking about Ashwini today, or maybe we can take it up next time.
Yeah.
The idea was today to really give some idea.
Yeah.
See, every nakshatra has a devata. They say that the devata awakens when the sun passes through the nakshatra. because the sun causes burning of a nakshatra. Whichever nakshatra the sun is in, that nakshatra is combust. We only
Yes.
talk about combustion of planets. People don't talk about combustion of nakshatras.
Yeah.
That nakshatra is combust. It's called Astangata nakshatra. That nakshatra is in pain. It is in pain. It's burning. It's hurting. So whichever part of your mind that rules, that part will hurt. And if that has to do with your consciousness, the guy can lose his sanity. Do you know that the 25th nakshatra, sorry, the 24th, in the 27 nakshatras came 24th, and in the 28 nakshatras came 25, is called Manasa nakshatra. And if the sun is in that nakshatra, hey, it's very dangerous. It can cause insanity. Because your head is burning, it's heated up. You are not able to take it. There is anger. You don't know why there's anger in the head, as if you have eaten lots of chilies all the time. Like that, each nakshatra is a part of the mind.
Wow.
So unless we know the devata of a nakshatra, we can't really heal that nakshatra. Because the devata is healing that part of the brain.
So when you see somebody's sun nakshatra in the birth chart, does that show that that is the nakshatra that is going to be really hurting and hard to deal with?
Of course, that nakshatra is burning you. Nakshatras have to do with the wind, Vayu. If you see the Panchang, the 5 elements of the Panchang, we have Vara. Vara is associated with Agni, Tattva. Then we have Tithi, which has to do with Jala Tattva. And then we have Nakshatra, which has to do with Vayu Tattva. You see?
Yeah.
Nakshatras are Vayu. So Saturn is very happy in Nakshatras. Very, very happy. Saturn takes about 28 or 29 years to go around the zodiac.
Yeah.
Or he goes around 1 nakshatra per year.
Yeah, so he takes his time enjoying every nakshatra. Okay.
Exactly.
I thought it would be more heavy, like Saturn is karma, so he's going to bring heavy karma on that nakshatra, no?
Saturn in any nakshatra is the wind. Why would Saturn be bad in the nakshatra? He becomes unclean over there.
Okay.
He's unclean over there.
So if you look at somebody's Saturn nakshatra, what would that tell you mentally? Like, what is this person should do with this particular, or what is that Saturn trying to do in that nakshatra?
He is polluting it. Since Saturn is polluting that nakshatra, whatever is indicated by that could get polluted. Or alternatively, it can give you a consciousness that, hey, I am polluted and I should become clean. That's how it works in the brain. The brain realizes that this part is polluted, so I need to clean it. But Saturn is really not as much. It is a problem, but not as much of a problem as Sun or as Mars. Because that's Agni. Agni will burn down on that nakshatra. Because these are lunar mansions, these are water. And fire and water form Gandanta.
Yeah.
That's why fire is not welcome in any nakshatra. In any nakshatra, he is not welcome. Wherever he's going to be, he's going to create problems.
Wow. So, I mean, and then once you see that, what would you tell that person looking at just their sun nakshatra? What should they do to maybe cool that nakshatra down? If it's
for the sun?
For the sun, be combusting the nakshatra.
Yeah, there was only one solution. You see, the sun, whenever we talk of the sun, go to the Pratyadi Devta. The Pratyadi Devta of the sun is Rudra or Shiva. Go to a Shiva temple and pour water. Cool him down.
That's what I do every 2 weeks. It's been a religious thing since 2010.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
He's heated up, give him some water. What do you do to yourself when you are heated up? Go take a bath. Cool down. Go to the swimming pool.
Wow.
Right? So as simple as that. But the worst is Ketu. Whichever nakshatra Ketu is in, the day when the moon shall pass on that nakshatra, that is the day you need to take a holiday. No matter what, take a break.
Take a break, okay.
Because Ketu is a fire that doesn't die down with water. Among the 3 fires, there are 3 kinds of fires. In Hinduism, we have three kinds of fires.
Yeah.
Ketu is that fire which is the worst. The sun will come down with water. Oblations of water will come down the sun. Mars will need more than that. He will need honey. He will need other things, other offerings to cool down. Lots of yogurt, dahi, lots of yogurt. What do you do when your stomach burns?
You eat yogurt.
Or when you eat some pepper?
Yeah.
Yogurt.
Yogurt. Yeah.
But then there is a terrible fire. Let's say you were talking to somebody and you got one of those rare chilies of Assam. You know, you would have read which is the worst chili in the planet. It's from Assam. And we have one more chili from South Orissa, which is like the size of your upper portion of your thumb, you know, tiny like that. You bite it, next 7 days you had it. That's the Ketu kind of burning, you know. Your brain ceases to function. You can't think anymore when you eat chilies like that. What is the way out for that? Rice. Now you know why rice is called Mahaprasad.
Wow.
Because rice can stop that burning with neither milk nor water can do. With
So
water,
wherever Ketu is, that day you should eat rice? Could we?
you must eat rice. You must eat rice.
Now you are also saying to take that day off, but let's say in this modern day and age when if you don't show up to work, they'll fire you. What can like people in real life do on that day when they know it's Monday, they gotta go to work, but moon is transiting that Ketu Nakshatra? How do you, is there any solution?
Okay. Let's say I want to do a daily remedy. I don't want to take a chance. I don't know how to say the Panchang. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what happens when the Dasha comes. I want a daily remedy.
Yeah.
From your Lagna, start moving backwards, right, at the rate of 4 minutes per degree. Come to Ketu. How long does it take for the Lagna, if you're moving backwards to Ketu, how long does it take? That terrible burning by which you become headless, that's not going to happen. It will never happen. Every day, if you take rice at that time, you will never suffer because of that.
So every day at 4 p.m. just eat rice.
Just take a little bit of puffed rice or some form of rice.
Okay.
Best is white rice, boiled rice.
Boiled rice. Okay.
Simple remedies. If it is offered to Krishna, oh my God, it works like wow.
Wow. Okay.
That is the ultimate remedy. Good.
Now, one thing I also wanted to ask you, whenever people see, okay, you have your moon or sun between 6 degrees to 11 degrees of Uttarashada, meaning that your moon is also in Abhijit Nakshatra. You are very powerful. Is that concept true when people see that? Like it's not only in Uttarashada, but also Abhijit. That means it's double the power you have.
It's Abhijit. It's Abhijit for the zodiac. It's not Abhijit for you. See, a planet in the first 6 degrees of let's say
of Uttarashada is starting point of the Abhijit Nakshatra.
And the last pada of Uttarashada.
Yeah.
The last pada of Uttarashada and about a few degrees of Shravana is your Abhijit. Right? There's a mathematical calculation to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let us say a planet is there in that portion of the zodiac. Yes, it is in Abhijit Nakshatra. And Abhijit Nakshatra also has 4 padas, which means that you are supposed to break it into smaller parts. See, the point is not that. The point is a planet over there is powerful in what way? What is it doing for you? It is in Abhijit for the zodiac, not for you. Your Abhijit is in a different place. Your Abhijit is in the exact 4th house from your sun. Tell me, where is your sun in your horoscope?
It's in Vishaka Nakshatra.
Vishaka Nakshatra. Oh, then the 4th house from there is definitely Capricorn. Okay.
Yeah.
But let us say somebody has the sun in Cancer, like me, I have sun in Cancer. For me, Abhijit is not in Capricorn. For me, Abhijit is in Libra.
Why is that? I've never heard that.
Because what is Abhijit? Abhijit is that which has the maximum light. And when is the maximum light during the day? when the sun is in the 10th house. So if my sun was in Cancer, then on that day, when the Lagna was in Libra, the sun would be in the 10th house.
Yeah.
So the Abhijit would then be at that time. That is the mid-noon. You know that Abhijit Muhurta, as they say Abhijit Muhurta, right?
Yeah.
That is the midday. So then for me, that those special degrees should occur somewhere in Libra.
Okay.
And not in Capricorn. For me, a planet in Libra is superb. Any planet. For you, any planet in Capricorn would be superb. He will play a critical role in your money matters. He will look after you throughout your life. If the Lord of that sign, let us say your sun is in Libra, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fourth Lord from that is what? Capricorn, right? Lord is Saturn.
Yeah.
Saturn is very fortunate for you. He is very lucky for you as a symbol because he is going to ensure that you are succeeding and getting light all the time. So you see my point, Kapil.
Yeah.
The way we need to study dashas, we have to take all these into account, or we will miss out on the main points.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at any planet in the 10th from the sun, he's horrible.
Wow.
The 4th from the sun is Abhijit, or full of light. 10th from the sun is zero light. It's like midnight.
But I thought 10th from the sun should be the strong place, no? Because it's
a horrible place.
10th from the king.
It's a horrible. No. It's midnight.
Oh.
Midnight is not a good time. The sun is like sunrise. 7th from the sun is like sunset. 4th from the sun is like midday. 10th from the sun is like midnight. For the moon, it is reversed. Where the moon is, it is moonrise, which is like evening.
Yeah.
Opposite the moon is like sunrise.
Sunrise, yeah.
So the 7th from the moon is more important than the moon, because that is like a sunrise. The 4th from the moon will then become midnight. And the 10th from the moon is like full of light, midday. That is why the 10th Lord from the moon takes you to work. He gives you jobs. He gives you everything. It's what the mind dwells on. He is giving of life. What is life? Life is nothing but light. And where is the light? 10th from the moon has light like the 4th from the sun.
This is why moon chart becomes important, to look at the planetary positions from the moon.
Exactly. Totally. A single planet in the 4th from the moon can kill you.
Wow.
Just like that, any planet in the 10th from the sun can make your finances go haywire. Unless it is a planet who does opposite things. How interesting, huh?
My God, this is...
No, this is just the Abhijit concept. This is
yeah, that's right. You're just talking about the Abhijit concept.
Right.
But having the planet in that particular degree is only good for the zodiac. When you, in this Uttarashada.
Yeah, that is why God is sitting over there. And God is sitting over there. Jagannath sits over there. And as soon as Makar Sankranti, what is Makar Sankranti? Why are we celebrating Makar Sankranti? You know why? Not because the sun goes to Capricorn, for heaven's sake. Why? Sun going to Capricorn, there is nothing to celebrate. It's in the house of Saturn. What's so good about it?
Yeah.
It is the sun going to Abhijit Nakshatra. God shall, because I told you, wherever the sun is there, the Devata of that Nakshatra will awaken.
So when they say, okay, like Indian horoscope, or whenever they wanted to declare some war, go to do something great, they look for Abhijit Muhurta. When is Abhijit Muhurta operating, or when the moon is transiting Abhijit? So should they be doing that, or should they be doing that 4th from the sun and 10th from the moon?
4th from the sun, of course. But if you're doing something for a country, then it's not about individual people.
Okay.
Right. It's like if you want to go to war, then of course you are not looking at the Abhijit Muhurta. I mean, what is exactly Abhijit Nakshatra? Abhijit Nakshatra has a Devata who is called Hari. Hari is Vishnu.
Yeah.
So therefore, when the sun enters Abhijit Nakshatra, Jagannath, Vishnu, Hari is waking up. That means, hey, this is a very good time to start any kind of a spiritual practice associated with Vishnu, with Krishna. So obviously, that is why we celebrate that time. That is why we have a festival, so that we end up actually worshipping Vishnu at that time.
Oh.
He awakens.
And then if you also, this one concept, if you see how they say Saturn is the enemy of the moon, but if you look at the Trikon Nakshatra of Cancer ascendant, Saturn rules the Trikon Nakshatras of Bhagya and of Dharma.
Exactly.
That's something I wanted to ask you. How did that, because I felt like Saturn actually gives you more than what Jupiter, because Jupiter then goes and rules the moksha nakshatras in the for the Cancer. Is that a concept that we can use to really see the how a planet will give a good or bad result or take you to your right place?
It's a Lagna Nakshatra. For you, it is Lagna Nakshatra. For somebody else, Punarvasu maybe.
Punarvasu, yeah.
So see, where the Lagna is very critical. Because you know why? That nakshatra is going to give you life. We will go into that. Let's call it a day today.
Yeah.
Let's go into this in our next session. Because to explain this question, I will have to explain to you the concept of Ashwini Nakshatra. Ashwini is not just a nakshatra, it's a concept. Unless we understand the concept, we will never understand Lagna.
Okay.
Okay, let's up next time.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you so much, Sanjay ji. And guys, please visit his website, srath.com.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sanjay ji.